Hey everybody, it's Ashley. So I haven't made a video in a while. I wanted to kind of make a video now. Lately, I've been going through a really hard time, and I'm trying to take this situation and make it into a positive one. By starting, I thought I'd share my story with all of you so that maybe I can help you guys. So here it goes. I'm gonna change the names of people for privacy reasons. So 2.5 years ago, I started dating this boy named David. The beginning of our relationship was really good. He was my best friend, and we were young and in love and in high school. At the end, we started fighting a lot, and the fights got really bad. But he was a good guy for the time that we had, and we had a good relationship. My dad left my family a really long time ago for another woman, and so having somebody like securely there has always been a really big insecurity for me. My biggest fear is being alone, and over the past 2.5 years I have tried to stick to people with that fear of being alone. I really believed that David would never leave me, but towards the end he started talking to another girl, and I'd been suspicious of them being together, but I never had any proof. On our 2-year anniversary, he told me that he wanted a break. Then he told me the truth, which was that he was falling out of love with me. I think it was one day. After that, I realized that I'm better than that, and I don't deserve to be waiting around for somebody. I was hanging out with my friends, and I found out that David was hanging out with the girl during our break that I had been suspicious of. Now keep in mind, we already talked about this girl and how I was suspicious of her, and I told him like I didn't feel comfortable with them being together or hanging out or anything, and we caught them together on multiple occasions, and he never told me about it. The only reason I found out was because I caught him. So anyways, I saw that David was hanging out with this person, and I was with my friends, and I was like, this is it. Like, I can't do this. I'm worth more than this. So my friends and all, we all went to David's house, and I told him, you need to choose. You need to choose me, or we're not together. I don't want to break. It's not fair. There's a lot of things we need to work on. So he decided to leave me, like a day after our 2-year anniversary, because he wanted to be with another girl, and he fell out of love with me. Not surprising at all, he was with this girl not that long after we broke up. A little around that time, there was another boy who had really helped me through the breakup. I'm going to call this boy Sam. I fell so hard for him, so quick. And through the 2 years that I was with David, I never loved him as much as I loved Sam. The only problem was that he was going to school about 2.5 hours away from me. So the distance was hard, but he'd always told me that we'd be together as long as I wanted to try, and as long as I wanted, and that he would never leave me. And I believed him. He was more than my best friend. He was my other half. He asked me to marry him. There was one night, we were on the beach, and we were talking about our future, and you know, of course, we already picked out how many kids we wanted to have and the kind of house that we wanted to live in someday. We were standing under the stars and talking about all this, and then behind him there was a shooting star. And it was so ironic and so crazy, and we just knew, like, this was something that was meant to be, and so he asked me to marry him. Not with a ring or anything, but just that, you know, we'd promised to be together. This was all during last summer, and a few months passed, and the distance became really hard. his grades started getting bad and his mom found out about it. His mom said, "You need to break up with her." And so one night he was texting me, and the whole day he seemed really off, and he's like, "There's something I haven't told you." And I said, "What?" He told me that his mom told him that she thinks it was best that we break up. So of course I'm sitting there, I'm like, that's crazy. Like, it's not my fault that he's doing bad in school. He's in a fraternity. That takes up his time on a daily basis. I barely even see him. We were talking, and here I am this whole time thinking, like, this is ridiculous. Like, I can't believe she would ask that. But he was staying quiet, and I was like, wait, what do you want to do? And he said, "I think it's best for the time being that we aren't together." And I said, like, that's ridiculous. Why would you even think that? Because this was literally like mid-relationship. Like, we were only having problems with distance, you know? We weren't having like emotional problems. We still loved each other full-heartedly and everything like that. And it was just ridiculous, you know, to even think about not being together. And so he told me he wanted to break up. And I was begging him, and I was like, "Please don't do this to me, not again. You promised me you would never do this." And I finally convinced him after like 15 minutes of crying and begging just to keep it a secret. And he told me that his mom was making him break up with me. Like, she wasn't going to let him do anything because she was paying for his college. So we had to keep it a secret. And that's what we did for a few days. And during that time, I went through a really depressive state because I felt like he didn't want to be with me. And so I was just depressed all the time. And I was writing on my blog all these suicidal thoughts. And it actually really helped me to write about them and get it out there and have people like to support me on my blog, you know. One day I called out of work and my parents got home early from work and they called me downstairs to talk to them. And they said, "Do you know why I'm here?" And I said, "What?" And it turns out that Sam and his mom sent my blog to my parents. My parents then took me to Florida Behavioral Health Hospital. The whole time, all I was thinking was I needed to talk to him. They take away your phone, so you're not allowed to have any kind of communication with anybody, but they do have a phone there that you can use to call. I was calling and calling him like crazy and trying to get a hold of him because that was like the one person, you know, that I knew would be there for me and I wanted to just talk to so bad. And so I finally got a hold of him and he called me back at the hospital and I answered and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I've been missing you and I want to talk to you. I miss you so much. I love you." And I was just so happy to hear from him. And he was so off. I was finally like, "What's the matter?" And he told me that he didn't think that we were good for each other right now. He broke up with me while I was in the mental hospital. The time that I would need a person like that most, he left me. It just hurt me so much that the time I would need him most was the time that he decided he didn't want to be with me anymore. Later I found out that he talked to my mom. He told her that he was going to do it because he thought it was the best place to do it. He wanted to do it earlier, but my parents were out of town and he didn't want me to be alone at the house. Just, I think, to leave somebody when they're in that spot, when they need that support from that person the most, is the most fucked up thing that somebody can do. And that's something I'm never going to be able to forgive him for. So I was in the hospital for a few more days and I got much better and I got on really good medication and I'm out now. And I'm here starting a new me and everything like that. The memories still hurt a lot. And what hurts the most is that he changed, and I'm never gonna have that person back that I fell in love with. So I guess why I'm making this video is to kind of remind you guys that at the end of the day, all you have is yourself. And you need to love that person. Everybody's crazy in love right now, and that's such a trend, is to, you know, have the cute relationship and everything like that. But I want to give you a reality check. Nobody's guaranteed to stay in your life. You need to find things that you love about yourself first. You can't expect somebody else to fix you. All you can ask is their support. And if they can't give that to you, then you're so much better than that anyways. I want you guys to know that if you ever feel like hurting yourself or killing yourself is the only way out, that there are so many people that love and care about you, including myself. How would they feel when one day they wake up and you're gone? When your little sister walks into your room to see your body lying cold on your bed because you overdosed on medication. To have your mom come looking for you for dinner to see that you've hung yourself in your closet. You need to find things to love about yourself, and you can't rely on other people. You have so much support around you. You have your family and your friends and maybe even your boyfriend. But you need to remember that you need to find things to love about yourself. And there is so much to love about you. Because you are the most amazing person. Everybody has gone through so much in their life. Whether it's divorce, whether you've gone through depression, a bad breakup, abuse. There's so many things that have made you such a strong person. You need to love yourself, because at the end of the day, that's all you're gonna have. You can't count on other people for your happiness. And as much as that's hard to hear, and you may think that you and your significant other, or you and your best friends are gonna be together forever, that's not always the case. You can't count on people because people just can't be counted on. You need to count on yourself. You need to love yourself. I hope that I've kind of given you some insight and maybe helped a few of you. I love you.